So September 1st, I'm back at the airport, and I'm back in 22 Delta, which is the tail wheel. We're gonna go do some flying, and I don't need to land by myself because Dave's in the plane, and if things go badly, he's there to save me. So tail up takeoff, it's not real straight, but it's been a while since I did one, so not too bad. This plane, it feels a little more powerful, flies a little smoother, don't have that tail wheel or the nose wheel creating drag. So I knew the plan. We get off the ground, and Dave's going to take over here real shortly and tell me to put on the Foggles. So what we're working on today is, simulated IFR training. The Foggles are just some safety glasses that are kind of blurry, so you can't see out the windshield. You notice I stapled on some pieces of paper towel to try and really restrict the view. I intend later on to get instrument rated, so I didn't want to cheat myself out of any training. I don't want to peek out the window, so put these goggles on and then just focus on the gauges. So I'm going to try to fly. Dave's going to be my air traffic control. He's going to tell me where to go, and I'm going to basically just keep control of the airplane while he's giving me a direction to fly and an altitude. So we go out, we do this for a little while, once I get going here. He had me do some shallow turns, which are, coordinated turns, which is what you're supposed to do when you're flying IFR, I believe. I'm not real good at this yet. And then we also did some steep turns. And I didn't leave any of that in the video because it's sort of irrelevant. They were cool, they worked out fine. Dave said I did a good job. I did include here, we'll cut to it in a minute, the stalls. We did power off stalls and also power on stalls, and those are pretty neat to watch. So once we get there, I'll talk you through it. So here we are. We start with power off stall first, and I'm trying to get set up for it. I'm trying to get my altitude, my heading, just what I want them to be. Trying to keep the wings level. Meanwhile, this whole time, I've been flying exclusively with just the gauges. It's been going pretty well. But you can see here, I've almost got the power all the way back. Dave's talking to me like we're losing 1,000 feet a minute right now. We're not even in a stall, but there's no power. This is a Piper Pacer, which flies the same as the Tri-Pacer. They just come down a lot. So this was shocking to me because I'm watching my wings level. You can see, if you notice the airspeed, we're really close to the stall right here. When this plane goes into a stall, it doesn't really nose down. It just drops out of the sky. So you're going straight down. If you see the altitude indicator, it went from 2,400 feet. Now we're at 2,200 feet. I really didn't notice that we were dropping like a rock. Dave said, okay, you stalled, go ahead and recover. I definitely need more practice on that. The power on stall is a bit more dramatic, and I knew what to expect, so you'll see that one next. See here, we're still got the flaps in because it's simulated takeoff, full power, we're climbing, and you get a little overzealous or whatever, and you start climbing a little too aggressively. You see the airspeed starts to drop off. I continue to add back pressure, climbing steeper and steeper. We're still climbing, we're still gaining altitude. According to the vertical speed indicator, we're making 1,000 feet a minute up. But once it stalls, it's pretty dramatic. The wing dips, you keep it straight with rudder, which I think I did a pretty good job, even though I may have pushed the nose down a little too far. We lost more altitude than we needed to. And anyways, I recovered from it. Generally, for IFR, it felt pretty good. You see I turned the yoke there. Totally wrong thing to do, unnecessary, doesn't help. Just keep it straight with rudder. But after this, Dave gave me vectors. He gave me the directions. I had no idea where we were, but he told me which way to turn. Gave me a heading, I flew it. Told me an altitude, I flew it. Guided me all the way back to the airport. And then once we got lined up for the runway, he said, take the Foggles off and land the plane. And I didn't know where we were at all, other than I knew we were close to the ground because we were at 400 feet. We were a little high. He said he had me turn in a little early. But then I executed what I think was a relatively decent three-point landing for my lack of practice in the last several weeks. So enjoy the landing. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.